Hello, welcome to our class for today. Today we are going to talk about measurement in physics, and we'll start with measurement of length using different instruments. So this is physics video tutorial powered by Noble Minds Tutors Online, and my name once again is Otubo Michael. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Click on the subscribe button and the notification button so that whenever we upload a new video, YouTube will notify you, and then so that you know that we have uploaded a new video. So for our class for this for today, please, as I always said, make sure you have your writing materials with you, because this is actually a physics classroom, not just a question and answer class. It is a classroom that teaches you physics from the basis, and we've already started from introduction to physics. We've treated unit measurement and dimensional analysis. Now we are going to re-measurement in physics. I want you to know that in physics, most of your calculations has to do with measurement. So measurement is very key. It is not a topic that you have to jump. It is a topic that has to be treated. So as I've said, these topics will be treated in segments. So you are welcome to this particular class. I also want you to remember that learning today is no more restricted to being in the classroom. You can actually learn in any place that you are in. So if you are watching this video for the very first time, you are welcome. I will encourage you to subscribe and then click on the notification button. Also, you can put your comments down on the video below. Also, after you finish watching the video, if you like what you have learned, you give us a thumbs up. So you are welcome to our class for today. We are learning this today, measurement in physics. So measurement in physics has to do with measurement of length. So we know that length is the extent of space between 2 points, or it is a distance between 2 points. It can be the distance around a circle or the distance in a straight line, depending on what you want to measure. It can be the distance around a circle, you're talking about the circumference of a circle, or you can be measuring maybe the internal diameter of a piece of an equipment or a pipe, or you can be measuring the length of a material. Depending on what you are measuring, length is a distance between 2 points. So what instrument can you use to measure length? You can use the meter rule. Okay, it can be a rule or a meter rule. You can use the Vernier calipers. You can also use the micrometer screw gauge, depending on what you want to measure. So in this particular class, we are going to talk about measurement using the rule or the meter rule, and then the Vernier calipers. That's what we'll discuss in the particular class. So please, I want you to pay attention. So the meter rule, it is your normal ruler. Although here I mentioned the meter rule, but your normal ruler is called a rule. A meter rule is that rule that has 100 centimeters gradation. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, but it is not every rule that has that gradation, so it depends on the rule that you have. If you have the normal one, the short one, some are transparent, some are wooden, that one is also a rule. So you use your rule to measure. You can use to measure the length of your notebook, your school desk, or your table, as the case may be. So you can have a rule that is graduated in centimeters, some are graduated in millimeters. Depending on the gradation that is on the rule that you are using, there's a point that I want you to take note of while using your rule. Your rule is the smallest gradation of your rule is 1 millimeter or 0.1 centimeters. I also want you to please, you can take your time to review your little bit about your units and measurement. unit of measurement that you used to see, 10 millimeter make 1 centimeters, 10 centimeter make 1 decimeter, and all that. Please, you should know that simple conversion. So the smallest gradation of the rule or of the meter rule is 1 millimeter or 0.1 centimeter. Now this value that you see here is also known as the reading accuracy of the rule or of the meter rule, and the reading accuracy is also known as the error, the smallest error that you can get when you are using the meter rule is 0.1 centimeters. Please, I want you to take note of this. I decided to color it red because these are questions that you can have in your JAM objective or WAEC objective. You can just ask you what is the smallest error that you can get while using the meter rule or your rule. The smaller error you can get is 1 millimeter or 0.1 centimeters. So I hope that is clear. That is the reading accuracy of the meter rule, and that is the smallest error you can get while using this piece of equipment. Now, what are the precautions that you need to take when you are using the meter rule? Now, there is one major precaution that you want to avoid, and that is error due to parallax. Error due to parallax. So you don't want to use the meter rule, or you don't want to view the meter rule from the sides, right? From either the left side or from the right side. No. The right way to look at the meter rule is directly vertically from above. You look at the meter rule vertically from above. This is the correct way for you to use the meter rule, not from either this side or from this side. If you are looking from the left in a slanting form, or from the right in a slanting form, you will have error due to parallax, so your result will not be correct. So for you to reduce this error, you must take this precaution. For using the meter rule, you have to avoid error due to parallax by looking vertically downwards on the marking instead of slantly. So follow these simple precautions and you will have more accurate results while you are using the meter rule. The Vernier Caliper. So the Vernier Caliper, this is a picture of a Vernier Caliper. So you might have it in your laboratory if you are a physics student. Most physics labs you have it, and this is just a shape. It has two jaws. There are two jaws on a Vernier Caliper. One is the inner jaw, one is the outer jaw. Then it has two scales. You have the main scale, and then you also have the Vernier scale. Then this is screw on the Vernier scale. What that screw helps you to do is that once you have been able to hold your object that you want to measure the distance firmly, you now use a screw to screw the Vernier scale so that it will not shake, or it will not move backward while you are taking your readings. And the same thing too, in this particular Vernier caliper, you must also avoid error due to parallax. You must avoid error due to parallax. So for the Vernier, it is used to measure, you can use to measure the thickness of a meter rule. You can use to measure the thickness of a meter rule. You can also use to measure the internal or the external diameter of a tube. Like if you have a cup, I want to measure the internal diameter of the cup, you use this inside jaw to hold the cup. Then if you have a bulb or maybe a pipe that you want to measure the external diameter, you use this outer jaw to hold the pipe or the rod that you want to measure. So that is how you use this jaw. This inside jaw is for internal diameter, while this jaw is for outside diameter. And for this particular Vernier caliper, just as I talk about the accuracy of the meter rule, the accuracy of a Vernier caliper is 0.1 millimeter, and that is equal to 0.01 centimeters. So the least possible error that you can get while using the Vernier caliper is 0.1 millimeter or 0.1 centimeters. That is the least error you can get while using the Vernier caliper. So this is a typical scale of a Vernier caliper. So this is the zero mark. In this particular part of it is the Vernier scale. This is your Vernier scale, while this side is your main scale, and that is what you have here. This is the main scale and this is the Vernier scale. So how do you take reading while you are using the Vernier caliper? So that's where we are going to now, how to read a Vernier caliper. Okay, so this is your Vernier caliper and you want to take reading. Maybe you have measured the external diameter of an object, and then this is how your reading now came out. You now have this as your reading. So what do? The first thing that you need to do why you want to use your Vernier caliper is that first of all, you place the object to be measured between the jaws, either on this outside jaw or the inner jaw, and make sure that the object is held firmly. Then use your screw to secure the Vernier scale so that the scale does not move. Then the next thing that you do is now read the main scale reading before the zero on the Vernier scale. This is your main scale reading. The zero is from this side, so you take the reading. Like in this place, you say this is 4 centimeters, so this should be 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, down like that. So the main scale reading from the zero is 4.1, 4.2, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3 points. So this should be 4.3 points. Now you find, after you've taken that, you now go to the Vernier scale. Find the markings on the Vernier scale that coincides with the mark on the main scale. This is your Vernier scale. Now you find the marking, check the marking. You see that at this point, the Vernier scale corresponds with the main scale. So you take this one. When you take this reading, you multiply the reading on the Vernier scale with your accuracy. The Vernier scale accuracy is 0.01 centimeters. So multiply whatever reading you have by 0.01 centimeter. Then finally add the reading of the main scale to the reading of the Vernier scale. That will give you the total reading of the Vernier. So that is how to read a Vernier. That is how to read a Vernier. So we're going to go to practical examples of some Vernier scales that has been drawn. Then we'll see how to read them. So I want to do a practical example on this Vernier scale reading. This is a typical Vernier scale. It's a typical Vernier scale, and all of them they are typical Vernier scales. And in most of your question papers, this is how you see them. They'll bring the scales like this for you, and they'll ask you to read either the Vernier scale reading. What is the Vernier scale reading on this type of scales? So what you need to do is that, we've said that this is the main scale and then this is your Vernier scale. So what you do first of all is that you look at the main scale. From the zero of the main scale, you look at the mark that correspond or that is there before the zero of the Vernier scale. So if you count this one, you see you count there one on the main scale. This is the main scale. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. So if you look at this 6 is the figure or the mark that is on the main scale that is close to the zero of the Vernier scale, right? It's close to the zero. So this is 6. So if this is 6, you write it down 6. Write that down. That is 6. This is 0.0 millimeters. So you just do your conversion straight to centimeters. That gives you 0.6 centimeters. Fine. Now you now come to the Vernier scale. Check the Vernier scale. look at the reading that coincides with the mark on this main scale. If you look at it, if you avoid error due to parallax, you will see that the only reading that corresponds, that is the reading from this to this, the reading that corresponds is this 0. There's no other reading that corresponds. Okay, so there's no reading that corresponds, it's only this 0. So which means that for this particular Vernier scale, that is here, your reading, because there's nothing for you to multiply with the accuracy. Accuracy of Vernier scale is 0.01 centimeters. So that's, which means that that one will multiply by 0 and that gives you 0. So which means that for this particular Vernier scale, the reading is 0.60 centimeters. Yeah, that's it. So for that one, the reading is 0.60 centimeter. That's for this particular scale. Now let's look at this one closely, the second one. If you look at this closely, let's see the reading that is from this 0 on the main scale, the reading that is just before the 0 on the Vernier scale. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is 7. Okay, so which means that on the main scale you have 7.0 millimeters. So you put that down 7.0 millimeters. Just do your conversion to centimeters, make life easy for us. So you have 0.7 70. Let me wind out. Okay, 0.70 centimeters there. Then now you come to the Vernier scale. Let's look at the Vernier scale so that we see the reading that coincides with the reading on the main scale. So the mark that coincides with the reading on the main scale is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We try as much as possible to avoid error due to parallax. You see that this number 6, the sixth mark coincide with this mark. So we'll take that as 6. So we have 6 millimeters. Now what you now do is I multiply this Vernier reading by the accuracy of the rule of the Vernier, which is 0.1. So this will give you 0.06. Okay, so this is your Vernier reading, this is your main scale reading. Now add the two together. You now have to add it to 0.70, do the addition, plus 0.606. That gives us 0.76 centimeters. So this is now the Vernier reading for this particular scale. We've done this one. So this is the Vernier reading for this particular scale, 0.76. Then for the last one here, let's look at the main scale reading. Count from this 0 to the line that is closest to this one, to the Vernier reading, to the 0 on the Vernier scale. This is your main scale, this is your Vernier scale, take note. So you count, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So which means that your main scale reading is 11.0 millimeters. So we just do that conversion straight to centimeters too, the way we've done before. So that gives you 1.10 centimeters straight. Then now you come over, look at the Vernier scale. This is the Vernier scale. Look at it. Which line correspond or coincides with the line on the main scale? So we'll count. This is 1, 2, look at them, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth line coincides with this, the fifth line. the fifth line. So that is 5 millimeters. That is 5 millimeters. So just as you did up there, you have 5 millimeters multiplied by the accuracy, right? Multiplied by accuracy, which is 0.01. That gives you 0.05. Now, for you to get your final reading, add the two together. Add the main scale reading and the Vernier scale reading together. So you have 1.10 plus 0.05. So that gives you 1.15 centimeters. So this gives you the Vernier scale reading for this last one. So basically that's how to read your Vernier scale. There's no too much this thing about it. Take your reading, take the main scale reading, take the Vernier scale reading, multiply it by the accuracy, add up your figure, and then you get your Vernier scale reading. So these are what you need to do. You have to test your understanding. So please do this once. Put your answers on the comment section below. I will look at all the answers and I will comment on them when I'm reviewing the video. I will look at all the comments and comment on them. There's also a WhatsApp link there that you can also click on. It will take you to the WhatsApp chat group for this particular channel. There to also respond to your answers. So please respond to the questions. I bet you most of the questions that I give out in my testing understanding, they are from past questions, either in WAEC or from JAM. So please solve the problems and make sure that you take down your notes. I've said it that this class, this is a normal class, but though it is a digital class, but it's like a normal class. So please don't trivialize whatever you are learning here. It is for your own good. And I also encourage you, if you have a friend, you can invite your friend to this channel. Please tell them that you are learning a new thing in YouTube. Invite your friend. If you have a friend that maybe they don't even have access or they don't have opportunity of getting a good physics classes or physics learning, please just invite them. Let them come to YouTube. Let them subscribe to this channel, and then they will continue to enjoy good and quality videos from No Minds Tutors Online. So thank you very much. Subscribe to this channel, please subscribe, click on the notification button, and then YouTube will notify you that we have loaded or uploaded a new video. So thank you very much for your time. I'll see you in our next class.